I've watched them curl most of the weekend, and they're going to be tough to beat. It's going to be a great game.
Well, both the clubs have played each other prior to this event. I believe they were telling me earlier on, they played in Lethbridge last season. And going to this championship game, both of them basically told me no holds barred. They want to win.
Well, Patrick qualified out of the A event, and so he hasn't lost a game yet. Or Solly is the skip, and these two teams play each other on the Prairie Cash circuit a lot. So I'm sure they've met before, and they'll both be aggressive out there, I think, today.
I think they will. Well, earlier on, I had a chance to talk to the skip for the Petrick rink, Mr. Mike Solly. So let's listen to what he had to tell us. Mike Solly, first off, welcome to the Lower Mainland.
Oh, thank you very much. We're enjoying being here.
Now, how did you hear about this event?
This event was one of the bonspiels on the World Curling Tour, and we definitely wanted to come out to a couple spiels in BC this year, and we chose Abbotsford because we heard the ice was going to be great.
Now, going into this event, you're on the A side, very successful so far.
Yeah, we've been lucky so far. We got through and qualified on the A event, and which means we got yesterday off, so we had lots of time to rest up for today's games.
Any changes in the rink from last year to this year?
This year we have added a new front end, actually. My lead, Richard Kleibrink, and my second, Adrian Backer.
You're playing against Brian Humble. You've played him prior to this, too.
Yeah, we've played Brian before. He's on the World Curling Tour, and whenever you're up against teams like that, they're always around, and he's a good team.
How does curling back in Alberta stack up with what you've seen out here?
There are always really good teams wherever you go. I think there are more consistent teams out in BC right now. Alberta doesn't have a lot of top caliber teams, but from what we've seen out here in BC, they've got some really excellent teams, and we've had to play, well, basically last rock every game to win.
Now you're going into this final championship game. What's your game plan?
Well, the game plan is to keep it as straightforward as possible and stay in it as long as we can and hopefully win it in the last 3 or 4 ends.
Well, good luck in the game.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, Jim, Mike's got a very positive attitude going in, and again, we said he does want to win.
Well, when you're undefeated, you should have a positive attitude. And they are used to competition of at least this level, if not better. And this is the best we've got in British Columbia, so they'll be tested, but they're going to be awfully hard to beat. The Saskatchewan boys, of course, are no slouches either.
No, they sure aren't. Of course, the Mike Solly rink, or Petrick rink rather, they did make a couple of changes in their front end, but the other rink did not. Brian Humble, the skip for his team, they have stuck with the same lineup for the last 3 years. And earlier on, we had a chance to talk to him about what he's going to have to do to overtake the Mike Solly rink. Brian Humble, welcome to the Lower Mainland first.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, now going into this event, pretty successful so far.
Yeah, we've played a lot of games and played quite well in most of them, so yeah, we've had a good run.
Okay, now you were telling me earlier on the rink itself has been together for 3 successful years?
3 years, yeah. We're out of Swift Current, and we've been together for a little over 3 years, actually.
No changes. That's somewhat unusual for some teams.
Yes, you hear a lot of people changing the rinks around just about every year, but being from Swift Current, there's not a lot of curlers to choose from, and plus we get along real great, so it's been a fun 3 years.
Okay, now curling back there, how does it stack up with what you see out here?
All very similar. The competition here has been really good. The ice here has been great, and it has really made for really tight games because everybody's getting onto it really well.
Has the competition with the World Tour now, is it getting stronger?
I think so, and the ones that are still going on every weekend are there every weekend, and they're tough, so you have to be at the top of your game in order to do well.
Now you're playing against the Mike Solly rink. What are you going to have to do to overtake them?
Just play the way we've been playing all day today. Just team with the fewest misses is going to win, and hopefully that's us.
Get down to the possibly the last couple of rocks?
Yeah, probably every game today's been that way. So.
All right, well, good luck in the final game, and welcome to the Lower Mainland again.
Thanks very much.
Positive in his outlook as well going into this final championship game. He was also alluding to the fact we talked earlier on about the fact that he has not made any changes in 3 years.
Well, that's a great advantage. You know what your other players, what kind of weight they throw for every shot, and their takeout weight is your takeout weight, and it makes reading the ice a lot easier. And this ice is very quick, but it's so quick that it's tricky. And if you overthrow your takeouts, they'll back off on you. So that's a key, is weight.
Yeah, it sure will be. All right, well, we want everybody to go back and replenish your cup of eggnog. Come on back, because we're going to come back to the Abbotsford Curling Club with the 21st Annual Abbotsford Curling Classic right after this timeout.
What do you love to watch on TV?
For me, it's sports.
Everyone has their favorites.
So into history.
Now Rogers gives you more. 16 new channels in one great new package. More of what you want when you want it. Call it selfish. Call it instant gratification.
For me, it's comedy.
Call it Me TV. Want to see a free preview? If you have Rogers, you can. Tune in because right now Me TV is free.
Knowledge is power, and to get the knowledge you need to compete in the financial world, I invite you to watch The Financial Planner with me, Greg Cross.
This is Rogers Community Television.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Abbotsford Curling Classic from the Abbotsford Curling Club in beautiful downtown Abbotsford, British Columbia. I'm Steve Erickson, and joining us in our broadcast booth today, Mr. Jim Anderson. Jim, this is going to be an exceptional final game.
I would expect it will. Two of the best teams in Western Canada right here, and both came out from the prairies, and here's Richard Kleibrink throwing the first rock of the end.
Now, we were talking earlier on about ice conditions. They do shave the ice between each game, ironically, so it's going to be curious to see how fast this one is.
Well, I'm timing this rock, and my experience has been about 14 seconds, and this is 14 and a half, and it's in the house. That's time from hog line to hog line. So first rock, 14 and a half to the front 8 foot. So that's very fast.
That is real fast. And there you had a shot from our overhead camera above the house, and it's nice that we have the camera there.
Their second lead rather for the Saskatchewan rink of Humble. Open hit and rolling over to the edge of the 12 foot. They're going to play it fairly safe for a little while. The lead rock went into the house, so they're not throwing it out front.
No, they don't want to give up any early free shots. They want, if the other team's going to get a couple of points, they're going to earn them, Jim.
I think they're just going to feel each other out for a couple of ends.
Yeah, just a couple ends. That's normally the way they do when they go into a final championship game. Just check things out, get the test the ice, see how it's running, see if there's any turns either way.
That's right. Lauren Hadel throwing a second rock for the Humble rink out of Swift Current, Saskatchewan.
Now, as we mentioned earlier on, these two teams did play each other last year back, I believe it was in an event back in Lethbridge. So it's not unusual they're playing in this final championship game.
Well, I'm sure they've various members of the teams have played each other at various times. The Humble rink has been together for 3 years, I understand. The Petrick rink, I'm not sure if they've been, I believe they've fluctuated a bit over the last couple of years.
Yeah, they did. They made 2 changes last year going into this season, and they felt that, you know, it wasn't so much the chemistry. They just wanted to change, and some of the other team personnel wanted to move on to different teams. So
this is
full credit.
Adrian Backer throwing his rock. And now they're asking for it out front, hopefully draw behind it.
Good weight on that one, Jim.
Yeah, that should be just short of the rings.
Just short.
Yeah, just barely.
There you can see, nice and tight.
Adrian Backer and Richard Kleibrink had their wives pick up a pile of money in the skins game this weekend, the ladies' skins.
And they told their husbands. That's the tough part about it.
So
they did. Apparently they won $46,000. Yeah, I said $1,000. And a skins game. It was on the weekend in Thunder Bay, Ontario.
That's
so
right.
Congratulations to them. Exceptional curling.
So I guess that's a little less financial pressure on the front end from the Petrick.
So
rink.
if the hubbies don't win.
So who cares? They've already got, they're assured of $7,000 second place money. The winner of this event gets $12,000. It's Adrian Backer again being asked for another rock up front.
Well, going into this final championship game, the Mike Solly or Petrick rink has not lost a game.
No, they went undefeated, won 4 straight through the A event, and Humble qualified out of B, and so he's only lost 1 game.
Yeah, he's only lost the 1, so needless to say, you still got some good curling in this. A lot of teams, number of teams that signed up for this one, Jim?
Yeah, we had 32 teams entered. About 4 rinks from the prairies, most of the good rinks in certainly the lower mainland and parts of the interior of BC. And had, I believe, 4 Abbotsford rinks.
Now this
entered.
is on the World Tour event as well?
Yeah, this is the earnings from this event count on the World Curling Tour official money winnings, and there's a takeout attempt by Clem Terrian on the center line rock.
Yeah, good weight on that one.
And he would have liked to have hit that a little thinner and maybe kicked the one into the rings, which is sitting at 7 o'clock, but just a little thick, but it was a good shot.
No, that's all right. He'll take that. He'll stick with that. No argument at all.
Yeah, these are official winnings for the World Curling Tour, so that the top, I believe, 32 teams have a big season-ending bonspiel that there's some big bucks on the line for. So every dollar counts to get into that bonspiel.
Yeah, it sure does. Lightweight on this one.
Dan Petrick again just throwing another rock up front. We've had BJ Gagnon and Shorty Jenkins looking after the ice here. BJ's a regular iceman, and he and Shorty are partners, and they've been the ice has just been excellent all week, or all weekend rather. It's very fast.
We were talking about that earlier on, to the fact that I have never seen them shave the ice between matches before.
No, that's that was the first time I had seen that often.
Called the sweeper off that.
Max Kirkpatrick,
Now
third for the Humble rink, trying to get around that center line guard. He's going to crash, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
In fact, he raised the Petrick rock in, so that's not exactly what they had in mind. Mind you, Humble has the hammer here, so if worst comes to worst, he can always draw the 4-foot for his
That's right. Now,
point.
maybe for our viewers at home, Jim, you should explain to them what the hammer actually means, and it's not something that we're going to buy this time of the year to put our Christmas lights
No,
up.
it's not the hardware store. It's the last rock at an end, and if you're looking at 7 rocks, it's quite a handy thing to have. If you can always take 1 point with the hammer, so you can afford to be more aggressive. You don't want a whole bunch of rocks lying around if you don't have that hammer, like 6 of theirs and 1 of yours, for instance.
Yeah, that's true.
He's going to Petrick's going to be trying to draw around the center line guard, probably down to the front 4-foot. They've got a rock just off center. He's got nice weight.
Just missed it. That was good.
Came by tight. You should try to bite the button with that.
Yeah, just inside.
Just about touching the 4-foot.
There you can see it right there.
But
little
3
bit
inches
shot.
off.
Yeah,
3
that's
inches
good.
off.
That's good. Good
That's
shot.
a very good rock. As long as you have to keep it in front of the tee line, because as soon as you get behind, they can come down and sit on it, and it doesn't do you any good. Then they're closer to the and get it preferably onto the one on the side, so that the shooter doesn't stay there and keep guarding the shot rock. So he'd like to angle raise it onto the one at 9 o'clock. That way a shooter rolls away and they've got a free shot.
That's right. The shooter will roll out on that one. Sweepers on this one early.
Max Kirkpatrick.
Lots of weight.
And he went through
Good
the
one.
hole.
Oh, through it.
But his shooter rolled away a bit and opened up the shot rock, so that was half a shot anyway.
Yeah, and now it's completely visible to the point that they've got an easier takeout right now.
Right now, I think
right now.
before they throw the other rock.
Yeah, before they throw it, but that remains to be seen as to whether they're going to, have the chance and have a clear shot. There you can see the viewing of the lobby here in the Abbotsford Curling Club, and nice facility out here. And we want to thank everybody. They've done an exceptional job treating us very hospitable here today. So congratulations to all the staff and crew here that work at this Abbotsford Curling Club.
Yeah, we've got a very good organizing committee. Oma Marler and Don Fisher and our manager Reg Hambley and David Bell and countless others that really work hard, and we'd like to thank them a lot for their assistance.
Well, it's what I call the unsung heroes. Without the heroes that help out and all the volunteers behind the scenes that put an event like this on, it'd be tough to put on. I realize you've got lots of sponsors, but you still need the sponsorship, but you really need the volunteers.
The volunteers do the trench work, so now they're not unsung.
That's
we
correct.
just sung. Okay, here's Skip. Sallow trying to throw the guard.
Mike Solly, lots of light weight on this. Just trying to get a guard up in front of it, as you were saying, Jim.
Well, that's pretty good. He left a little bit of the intern, though. He can.
Good weight overall.
Oh yeah, good weight, but it curled a little further than he'd like it, and I think Brian Humble can get at that with the soft intern hit there. It looks like about half a rock is exposed, so. He'll probably throw about maybe board to wall.
Okay, so from this shot?
He's taking about a foot of ice, and he won't be overthrowing this, because if you overthrow it, they will run back, and he wants this rock to curl around. You can see a good half a rock, I'd say. So.
And there you can see what a curling rock actually looks like. The actual weight of a curling rock, if you're curious, is 40 pounds, and yeah, you take a little bit of weight to throw those things. They're not as easy as they seem. I've tried it a couple times, and I put too much weight. It just goes right through the house.
Well, it's a touch game for sure. It's not brute strength.
No, it sure isn't. It's almost equivalent to a chess match.
That's exactly right. Positioning your rocks. He's coming in. He's got a bit too much weight, and it's just gonna touch. I didn't even touch it.
Just missed it. Oh,
Yeah.
so close on that one.
So it ran pretty straight for him, and now he's in a bit of trouble.
And the ice is running straight. It's not curling either way.
Oh, I think that, with a little less weight, that would have come in for him. But it's not running. It's not curling too much yet. Again, it's a weight shot. If you overthrow it at all, it's going to run fairly straight on you. And he might have got it a little bit wide also. But now he's going to find that his next shot is going to have a greater degree of difficulty. You can bet on it.
There you can see Mike Solly.
Make sure he gets by the guard.
You can hear what he's saying. Let's listen to him a second. Okay, now he won't talk.
No.
I have to tell Mike that.
Short's
Cue Mike.
better than heavy.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't want to get this into the rings, or at least set them up for the double.
No.
If you leave a corner sitting out, you can get an easy double. So. He's lying two now, so I think he'd be content with the guard. He wants it short.
Yeah, he wants it short,
but it's
they're
in. No, it's not in.
No, it's still short.
Just tight. That's a good rock. Because even if Humble hits it, his shooter doesn't go onto the ring, so it's no danger to them.
That's right.
It guards the shot rock.
Could hit that and just roll right out.
And so Humble was forced to draw against 2 for his single point in the first end with the hammer.
That's a bit of a surprise. We didn't expect that so early in the match.
Well, they've got rocks in play, and quite often it'll turn out that way. The other team made the shot, and Humble missed his first one, and so now he's forced to take one, which is not what you want to do with the hammer. You want to be getting multiple points with when you've got the hammer, and so this is, he may not make the shot, and they can steal on him one or two.
Outturn sure moved.
So the outturn sure moved. So
Buried?
Yeah, Brian Humble getting set.
he's going to throw the intern draw, try to get it to the tee line, just touching the 4 foot, close to the 4 will give him his single point. He doesn't mind that in the first end.
No,
we'll just see what this runs here. I'll time this rock and see. Should be around a 14.25. Should be pretty close. Oh, they're sweeping hard for line.
Yeah, they are.
Got to get it past that second guard, and I don't think they're going to. They're going to crash.
I don't think they will.
No.
Oh,
That's
not that way.
Big steal.
I'm not going to do it that way.
Okay, that's a steal of 2. He threw 13.4 on that rock, and So the weight was adequate, but he just didn't get enough ice, and he didn't get by the second guard, and so it's a steal of 2. So
and the sweepers were on that early as well.
Oh yeah, it was. You just needed a little bit more ice. He was uncertain about that, about what ice to take, because it is first end. They haven't seen many rocks yet, so unfortunately, but it's not the end of the world. It's only the first end.
Let's take a look at this one again on the last shot.
Well, the sweepers are working it hard. They know that the weight is there, but they just couldn't get it past. Even a little thinner on that guard, and they would have been able to spill the red in for a second shot and for a steal of 1. But that's the way it goes. They'll come back. That's not a first end. You just pretend you lost the toss and they got a deuce. So that's not right. The end of the world.
That's right.
So we'll see how Patrick Salo team, now that they've got a lead.
They've got the lead. We'll see if they basically just hold on to it and
well, they're not
want to take it easy.
They're not being too aggressive. Now that they've got the 2-point lead, they asked for that rock in the house. As soon as they threw it out front, they knew Humble would draw around it. In case people don't know, we're play the free guard zone now in just about every curling rink I know of in Canada.
Now that's changed from a few years back, so maybe you can explain that to everyone how it actually works, because I actually like it.
Well, it's certainly revolutionized the game. A few years back, basically, if you got down to a good hitting team, a couple of points, they would hit everything in sight. You would throw rocks up front in the hopes that they would miss or hit it on the nose and try to draw behind it. But the good teams never hit or never missed or hit it on the nose, and so basically if they got a 2-point lead on you, that was it. Now between the hog line and the house is called the free guard zone. Here's a hit by the Petrick rink to lie 2, and your first 2 rocks of the end, if they're in that zone, they cannot be removed by the other team. They can be hit into the rings or moved over to the side, but they cannot be removed from play, hit the boards or through the house. And therefore, you've always got a couple of rocks out front, potentially, if the rinks choose to throw them there,
that's right,
to draw behind.
And there's a lot of curlers nowadays that really like that rule. They think that it's working to their advantage too.
Well,
it's working also to promote the game.
The game was getting a little bit boring with the really good teams because they were so proficient. The ice is so much better and truer. The good teams could absolutely peel. In other words, take the front rocks off and roll their shooter out of play. They could peel all day, and you couldn't catch them. Now you've got rocks in play every end if the teams choose to play the free guard zone rule. There's Bacher.
Bit of an outturn on this one.
Trying to remove that center line guard. Humble's trying to get something up front to draw behind, and this is like the old days. You see, Salo's team didn't throw a rock up front because they knew Humble would go behind it. Now Humble's throwing rocks up front, and Salo's peeling them.
Now, you were talking earlier on about ice conditions and the different, whether it's temperature that affects the ice or whatever. As we watch this next rock be released, this curling club has a cement floor. What's the difference as far as ice conditions versus a cement slab down here, say a sand base?
Well, I don't know if they ever build sand base rinks anymore. Obviously you get a much more stable base. You can control your temperature. Control is better, and temperature is key to having good curling ice. They monitor. They have sensors now in the ice, and it's become a real science. And I'm certainly don't know much about it compared to the people that do it, like B.J. Gagnon and Shorty Jenkins. They made ice for the Olympic trials recently, and they did the men's skins game, and they're doing the World Championships in Kamloops next year. So they're the experts, but you have to have a good base, and then you have to. But everything's so computerized now; it's amazing.
Down to a science nowadays.
Here's Clemtarian again asking for a rock up front from Brian Humble, and trying to get something going. Eventually, since Solo Rock slip behind the tee line, they're maybe going for it now. They'll try to freeze to that, but I guess he was doing that there, but it's a little heavy, bounced off it. But anytime you throw a rock behind the tee line, if you can't get one up front, then you go on offense by trying to freeze to it.
We'll time another rock and see what it's actually running. Let's listen to him.
Down throw bumper normal. Bumper.
You can hear Mike Solly.
He's throwing bumper weight at this, which is sort of down from normal hit. He doesn't really care if he hangs around or not, because again, he's going to be behind the tee line, and that's actually an advantage for Humboldt, having something to draw up to. Dan Petrick used to curl for two of the Alberta Championship rinks, Ed Lukowicz and Kevin Martin both.
No, I believe it was Dan Petrick that went to the Olympics in 1991.
Yeah, he was known as Dan the Hitman Petrick back then. I believe he was playing second, and peeling was, hitting was his forte. Here's Max Kirkpatrick. Going to try to draw down to this pocket that they form. You see Petrick's rock, he didn't really want it there, because now if Kirkpatrick gets into the pocket, it becomes very difficult to remove. They don't want to bounce those off too much. They just want to sit in the pocket. And then how do you get it out of there?
Yeah, that's true.
That can be gotten out of there. It did bounce a little bit. He can take that out with a good out turn now. Should squirt that through the hole. He'll lose.
Should just nudge it through.
He'll lose his back one. I think he'll be nudging it with pretty hard. I don't think he'll be cute with this. He doesn't mind losing his back rocks.
No, not if he loses the back one. Right now, he's not too worried about that one.
Because they're not to his advantage anyway. They're to Hummel's advantage. So he's going to throw I would say, a pretty firm out turn hit at this.
Yes.
Big weight.
Lots of weight on this one, Jim.
Yeah.
Hurry. Clean.
We'll see. Everything go.
Everything moved, but they still got one inside.
One kicker. That's just about perfect. Only thing is, again, it's behind the tee line, but they'll try to use it, but at least it's only one to freeze to. Get a pocket set up like that, it can be impossible to get a rock out. It's Kirkpatrick again.
See where he places this one.
Trying to draw down to the face of the Solo Rock.
Taking their time. They're just letting this one find its own.
It's not quite the line they wanted. Perfect weight, absolutely perfect weight, but either he missed the broom, which I doubt, or they didn't have the right ice. More likely the latter. Both these teams, interestingly enough, have the same sponsor, the wealth creator TWC Financial Corporation out of Saskatchewan. So I guess they're getting good value for their sponsorship, no matter who wins here.
Well, I was talking to Mike Solly earlier on about sponsorship, and he was actually telling me that at the present time they do not have a sponsor.
Well, they've got their jackets and so forth were TWC. So they may not be currently, but they were sponsored by them, and Dan Petrick works for them.
Oh. Then you would think he should have sponsorship.
Well, I guess there'd be a conflict of interest there.
Would there ever? Okay, let's see how Mike Solly sets this one up. Knows what he wants to do with it. And they talk about it. That's the one thing about curling is, despite the fact that I relate to it as a curling match, it's so close to chess. It's the mind game, but there's an awful lot of communication between the team.
Yeah, and that's why it's nice to keep a team together for a while.
Well, they go out, they curl together, they just hang around, they become one big family, and they know what each other's going to do all the time.
Yeah.
And in a lot of cases, Jim, that's the key for success for a lot of big teams.
Yeah, nice thing about curling is there are no big contracts that your loyalty is based on your relationship with your teammates and hopefully the chances of success. Nobody's paying these guys to do this. It's what they win is what they make, and most of them pay their own expenses. Some exceptions who have sponsors, but most of them pay their own expenses. It's like rodeo riders.
Yeah, it can be a fairly expensive sport.
Well, with all the traveling and all the cash bills around, sure, you don't even want to think about driving to them all, so you maybe get on WestJet or one of the others. WestJet's one of our sponsors here.
And we know that the Mike Solly rink is leaving, as we do this telecast, to be leaving later on to go back, fly back to Calgary.
That's right. And he's trying the double, and he makes it.
And he got it,
because,
yeah. Nice double takeout.
Getting in a little trouble. There's a little likelihood that there's a 2-point end available to him now, so he wanted to make the double, and he'll be trying to blank this end now and take the hammer into the third.
Take a look at this one, then the double takeout.
Yeah, he rolled across the face and kicked the other one out the side and rolled to the 12-foot at 9 o'clock, so that was pretty well a perfect shot.
Yeah, that was good. No complaints for that one.
And Salo will be throwing an in-turn hit. He wants to hang around with this and make Humble roll out for the blank instead of having a free fire through the house blank. So he shouldn't be throwing huge weight at this. He's not taking a lot of ice though. He's taking very little ice. He must think it run straight. So.
Well, so far it has basically run fairly straight. We've talked earlier on about the fact that we haven't seen a lot of turns, whether it's inside or outside turn, either way.
Yeah. Looks like he's got pretty good line here.
Good weight, good line on that one.
And he's going to roll.
Got it. Sure.
Right out.
Rolls.
That'll be out of there.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Very quick in the house. Well, all it does is allow Humble a free blank. All he has to do is fire it through the house to keep the hammer, and that's no doubt what he's going to do. Those are the shots that help your percentages, I guess. You hardly ever miss one of those.
Far and few between on these. Now you watch them, they clean the bottom of the stones or the rocks off, and that's basically so they don't pick up any bristles from the bottom of the brooms or any debris off the ice.
Yeah.
Because if you do, Jim, if you pick any debris up off the ice, it'll just really turn that rock right around.
Oh, it can absolutely make it go sideways. Just a little horsehair off a brush or something. I've seen a rock jitterbug down the ice with just a horsehair under it. It's incredible what a hair can do to a 40-pound rock, and it does. So he throws it through the house to keep the hammer.
Boy, you should be psychic with a prediction like that.
Oh, yeah.
You want to phone Jim's psychic line right here?
Yeah. Psychic or psycho, whatever.
Well, so far it's interesting. Both teams, playing very, very well. And as we said earlier on, the Petrick rink coming out to the early jump.
Yeah, they got that steal early in the game, and but there's a lot of ends left. Humble will he'll be patient. He's not going to force it. He wants to get a deuce as soon as he can. But here's Clybrink, the newly rich Clybrink family, and again they're throwing it into the rings, and pretty well a perfect shot. Gets it front ring, but in the ring so that it can't. If it's frozen to, it's not shot rock. So, and no doubt Brian Humble will probably throw up a corner guard to hopefully, again, because it can't be hit at this point. So he'll throw up a corner guard. It's going to be there for their next shot to draw around.
So that works to their advantage with this shot. If he sets it up.
Yeah, and
that's
a good shot. They're just making like about halfway maybe. You don't want it too close to the rings because it's too tough to get around and bury then. Too far out, and it's too easy for the other guy to follow you in and knock you out. So.
That's a good shot.
Yeah.
It's fairly quick match so far. They're not taking an awful lot of time between shots, Jim.
Well, it's pretty straight up and down. There hasn't been anything too complicated to think about yet. Once somebody really goes after it and gets a bunch of rocks in play, could be this end. There'll be a little more thinking involved.
Now, for an event like this, for this 21st annual Abbotsford Curling Classic, do they have like a mercy rule or for these teams?
No, the mercy rule is self-enforced. When you reach the point where the likelihood of embarrassment greatly succeeds the likelihood of success, you shake hands.
You just respectively bow out. There's our score, Jim.
There you go. It's 2-0 for Petrick over Humble, playing in the third end.
And they got the 2 in the first end.
Blank the second. And Humble has the hammer in the third. And he's looking at 2 rocks.
Lots of heavy weight on this.
Lauren Hanel trying the double. And that's a good shot.
It's a good shot.
Very good shot, because he moved that one to the back. It can be frozen too, and I'm not sure if his shooter's probably open, but
yeah, well, it looks open.
But now they've got one up front they can go behind, and they've got one back ring they can freeze to and try to generate a little bit of offense.
Okay, take a look at this one again.
There's the replay and the
replay
roll.
on that.
Forward weight's good.
That was good.
Great shot. Shooter just rolled a little too far, or else it would have been absolutely perfect. But Adrian Backer will
Yes, hurry line.
An inside turn on this one.
throw it soft out turn. Partly buried that rock. In fact, he's crashing on the guard, so there was a half rock buried on there. So now
yeah,
they're in good shape.
And they had to open that one up too, so it's a lot more visible for them.
Now, it'd be interesting to see how Humble plays this. He could draw the other side. He could play the freeze down to that one, which is what he's indicating. What he's got now is, on paper, he's got his deuce back, because he's got the hammer and he's drawing to lie 2. So if nobody makes a double or has a miss on his rink, he's got his deuce. He's got his deuce and he's tied the game.
So we will see.
But that's just on paper.
And oh, how quickly it can change.
That's lots of weight as it comes into the house. It's he's got backing.
Going deep.
That's not bad. You can't. You don't want to be light with that, but you could add a little less weight and maintain the backing. Maybe get a 3, but if he would have made a perfect freeze on that, they would have hit the other one anyway. So
yeah.
Might get half to get both. Stick around.
You can hear Mike Solly.
He's asking for fairly quiet takeout. Like to get the double, but he'd also like to keep his shooter hanging around. Little wide.
Nick it.
Yeah, but he just missed the back one.
Yeah.
And his shooter rolled away. So now this is a very good chance for the Humble rink, because now he can really split the house. He can get Clemtarian to try to draw as far away, as you can see, from the other rock as possible.
Go to the other side.
And the further the separation, the harder the double is, and that's what you want to avoid. So they'd like to get, ideally they'd like to get this rock well back in the 12-foot straight across from the other one.
Well, they don't want to put themselves in a position where they've got the other team has an easy double takeout.
That's right. So they want to get that as far back as they can.
They all jump on that.
Looks pretty good.
Coming in. Back off.
Yeah, they don't want to sweep it through either. You feel a little silly if you do that.
Almost about 10 o'clock.
That is about as well as he could have done. There's no double there by any human being I know, other than maybe Kevin Martin couldn't even make that, I don't think. So,
probably not.
No, I don't think so.
So we're looking about 10 o'clock and maybe 4 o'clock.
Yeah, they're pretty well straight across from each other. So he'll try to hit and roll over in that general direction. The idea now being try to get the rocks closer together so that a double will eventually be there. So Petrick is going to throw an in-turn hit at it, and he'd like to hit maybe 3/4 of a rock and roll over towards that direction, but he can't attempt to get the double because it's just going to go out the back.
I don't think he's going to get the double even if he really pushed it. Not on this one. Separation distance is too great.
The angle just wouldn't work. So throwing fairly firm weight, but
called him on that fairly early, going down, trying for the 1 takeout. I don't think he's too worried about the played
little
for
bit.
a bit of a roll, but when it hit, he was sort of shaking his head. I think he expected a little bit more of a roll over towards the other one.
Yeah, he Humble is quite well. He's talking about his freeze now. That's interesting.
That's a bit of a surprise.
Well, a bit. He's got, let's see, he's got 4 rocks to come. It's going to be difficult for him to get more than 2, and it's another way to generate offense. But if you're going to play freezes, you sure want to make them, because right now Petrick's team is shot rock.
Oh, he was lost. Whoa, right off.
Well, it must have almost looked like it hit something.
Yeah, I think it picked something up.
It
there.
must have picked something up.
Now,
did that ever take a roll?
Yeah, that's the problem with playing the freeze. Now Petrick can hit the other one and lie too, and the advantage is gone.
But that was it was going so direct, and as we said earlier on, it obviously must have picked something up, because it took an immediate sharp roll to the left.
Yeah,
it did it so quick too.
Yeah, I think it picked up a little debris. So, just like I say, that it's a great idea if it works, but I frankly think that just exchanging hits, if you could, for the rest of the end would have been better. Now he may have lost his chance for a deuce. We'll see. If
see where he lays this one.
He'd like to hit and stick right there, lie 1 and 2. He's obviously got it out a little bit, and it's coming in. He's going to catch a corner. The question is, will
I don't
his
think it'll
shooter
catch
stay?
enough.
No, his shooter's going to go.
So. Shooter will roll out. No.
So now
he basically called that after it just released.
Yeah, he knew he was wide when he let it go. So now Humble, with that half miss, can get his in a position back to his deuce now. He's taking an in-turn hit at this, and he would like to roll the shooter, say, over towards the center line again for separation.
Yeah. And again, it's important they do play that separation. So that's, as you were saying, why they want to roll it to the inside.
Well, these guys will make doubles all day on you if you give them a chance.
Oh, if you put them too close together, yeah, they'll do a great job on doing the double takeout. So these guys are masters at it.
Yeah. And I think you're going to see one pretty soon, probably.
Wouldn't surprise me. We were talking about the double takeout, and I think it's almost fact coming up very quick.
I'd almost be surprised if they didn't make it.
Yeah, they've got the luxury right now where earlier on in the third end they didn't have this chance because the rocks were so far apart.
Yeah.
And it's completely reversed.
Yeah, well, decide to play the freeze instead of the hit on the previous rock there, and that's where the two-ender went and got off the rails a little bit, because he didn't make the freeze, and the freeze is toughest shot in curling. So. Well, maybe they'll get fortunate, and maybe this rock will curl a little bit, and Sala won't make the double. But
Dan's finished at the end here.
I'd say the odds are 2 or 3 to 1 that he will. Likes to give his rock a little spin there to make sure there's no debris on it. That's not just showmanship. That's got a purpose too. Not just playing with the top.
Nope, and he paid you to say that.
Throwing good firm weight at this, and pretty close to the double. He's got it right. Bang, bang,
bang, bang. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Nice double takeout, and that's what we were talking earlier on.
Yeah.
How quick it can happen and how easy it can happen. So, how the tables have turned, Jim.
Well, now we're back to the point where again Humble will be happy to
watch
blanket.
this as we take a look at the replay here.
Replay right on the nose. Shooter sits there. The other two split out sideways, and that's the problem. You don't want to leave an easy double like that for a curler of Mike Solo's.
Well, that was a nose shot, and it just stuck. It didn't even have a roll to it after it hit.
No. So Brian Humble will try to hit and probably, hopefully, roll the shooter a little further onto the rings. He wants to make Solo go after it.
Still 2-0 for the Petrick rink over the Brian Humble rink from Saskatchewan.
Swift Current. Brian works for SaskTel back there.
going in.
He's got it in the corner, and that's a good shot.
Yep, that's what he wanted. He'll stick with that one.
And now Mike Sala will try to roll his shooter on. A nose hitter a little on the outside won't put his shooter onto the rings. He wants to get his shooter onto the rings to make sure that, again, he doesn't give Humble a free blank, because Humble is not in a position to get his deuce, and he'll be trying to blank the end.
Well, the key for this one is don't give them anything that they can use to their advantage.
Roll in would be okay.
Okay, we'll listen to Mike Solly here.
Hit and roll in. And
cleaning the area in front of the hacks so we can get set. And again, he makes sure that he brushes the bottom of the curling rock off every time he throws it. Doesn't want any debris getting stuck on the bottom of it. Good move. I've seen a lot of people throw them without taking any preventive measures like that, and it's done them more harm than good.
Yeah, $12,000 on the line. I think it's worthwhile cleaning them. And he's not going to have it on the rings.
Didn't stick, but
Solly rolls out. So free blank for Humble.
And he'll take this one. We know he'll.
Again,
he's done this before, so
he's happy to do this. He's got the hammer, and in free guard zone, if you're two down with a hammer, basically you're tied, because you should be able to generate a deuce if you want to gamble, and if you have to gamble with free guard zone rule, you should be able to generate a deuce quite often. You just throw on a hard out turn, put the broom down in a spot where he can maybe read the ice for later. That's
let's check things out.
Yeah, even though there's nothing in the house, they
let her go.
Like to see how things run in that spot. It may come in handy at a later time.
And they just let her roll through right there.
So it's still 2-0 going to the fourth end at the.
So we blanked the last two ends. We blanked the second end and blanked the third end, and they got 2 points in the first for the Petrick rink. So they started out so strong. And a little bit of a strange event that they've blanked the last two, but we don't want you to touch that dial. We want you to go replenish your eggnog and come on back. We're going to come back with more from this 21st annual Abbotsford Curling Classic. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Abbotsford Curling Club. I'm Steve Erickson with Jim Anderson, and it's our pleasure to bring you this final championship game of this 21st annual Abbotsford Curling Classic here from beautiful Abbotsford, British Columbia. Hope you're enjoying this final match between the Brian Humboldt rink from Saskatchewan and the Petrick rink based out of Calgary, Alberta, who Mike Solly is the skip. And so far, Jim, we're seeing some good curling out here.
It's good, but it's been pretty
predictable,
conservative so far. Nobody's panicking yet. Nobody wants to give it away yet. So everybody's playing it pretty close to the vest right now. They're throwing rocks up front, and Humble's going to go after him pretty soon here. He's got to get a deuce.
Well, he can't sit back. He's
two down.
Sooner or later got to go after him because, as you were saying, Jim, he is 2 down. And I don't honestly expect that he would be down after the first end like that.
Well, basically he missed his shots.
That'll do it to you right
That'll
there.
do it. You know.
Well, when I talked to him before the match actually started, he was telling me that he figured it could possibly be won in one of the last couple of ends, or he might get down to the final couple of rocks.
I would expect that it'll go down to the last 2 rocks. They're pretty tightly or closely matched teams, rather.
Yeah, very competitive.
And I think both of them are quite conservative also, and I don't expect a blowout by either team. I don't think they're going to gamble a lot. They want not only the money, but they want the WCT points too, and that's a big difference. There's a good shot, hitting a roll over the 12-foot, and So Humble's got
Well, it's long.
kicker in the corner.
So we're still right now 2-0 for the Petrick rink in the fourth end right now. As we said, Petrick took an early one, 2-0 in the first end. They blanked the second and blanked the third, and we've just had the first couple of rocks thrown in the fourth end here. And this is the 21st annual Abbotsford Curling Classic from the Abbotsford Curling Club. Hope you're enjoying this telecast, and we'd just like to pass our best wishes out for this festive season to everybody. Wish you and your family all the Merry Christmas to everybody. Hope you're enjoying it, and hope you got your shopping done early, because well, I know it's not the 24th, so I'm not starting yet. So
I'd like to say Merry Christmas to everybody too, because my wife put me in charge of the Christmas cards this year, so they may not get out. So Merry Christmas to everyone from the Anderson family.
okay, we'll see how he lines this one up.
Clemtarian is being asked to hit and ideally roll behind the center line guard, but hitting and playing out there is not bad.
Now, Clem's played some pretty competitive curling in his day as well.
Yeah, he used to live out here. He's a contractor, and he used to live out here for a few years, and he builds houses back in Saskatchewan. And he sits right there, and that's a good shot. What can happen here is if Mike Solo's team hits that on the nose, they won't be on the rings, and then gives Humble a chance to draw behind that center line guard. So, as Mike Solo would like Adrian Bacher to hit and roll, and he'd like to roll behind the center line guard too. He's calling him off. He's pretty well. No, it's not going to be on the rings.
Not at all.
No, I think you'll see Humble try to go behind that guard.
Well, we'll see.
It's time to turn on the offense, I think.
Now, you were talking about Mr. Therrien being initially from out here, moving back to Saskatchewan. With all respect to the people in Saskatchewan, what would possess a person to move back other than work?
Well, I
don't say
think
that
he was
sarcastically.
I think he was from there originally. Well, I can think of, I suppose housing prices would be about 5% of what they are here.
Yes,
one good reason.
Well, I can imagine. I'm not going to be critical of Saskatchewan, because my father is actually from a place called Big River, Saskatchewan.
Big River?
Which is about 75 miles north of Prince Albert. So.
Right. My wife's from Saskatchewan, Plenty, Saskatchewan. So we've got a lot of friends and family back in Saskatchewan.
I like it back
place.
there. I like it. I like it back in the prairies.
It's a remarkable number of the people in this curling club, myself included, are from the prairies originally. The curling has its roots on the prairies, and a lot of people, of course, have prairie roots in the club. And
now, the one thing that a lot of people ask me whenever we do a curling telecast, they're always concerned and they wonder, as we look at Mike Solly right here, they look and they want to know why the brooms have changed. Why so drastic? Years back, they used to use the corn broom, the old ones that basically they were so noisy and they kept everybody awake.
Here's Dan Petrick trying to come around and make a hit on the shot rock. And he's got it. He's going to roll over to the 12-foot.
And they'll stick. Stick within the 12-foot rock, 12-foot circle anyway, so that's good.
Originally, the brooms were real brooms, basically out of the kitchen, I suppose, when curling was outdoors and you were sweeping large pieces of debris off.
Yes.
And as things got more sophisticated, I believe the Europeans started with the push brooms. And we missed the corn brooms. Here's the out-turn hit right on the nose.
And he'll stick. Still in the 12-foot.
But I think one thing is that the push brooms are a lot easier to use. You can, if you curl 2 or 3 games a day with the push broom, you can survive. If you swinging corn brooms 2 or 3 games a day was.
I think that can be pretty tough on your body.
Oh yeah. The hands, the shoulders, and various other parts hurt a lot. So
you get a good workout with those.
Yeah, and actually probably the push brooms are every bit, if not more, effective than the old corn brooms. But we miss a lot with the old corn brooms slapping.
Even the push brooms now they've changed. They used to have the bristles on them, and now they've almost got like a nylon head on them.
Yeah, and some teams prefer some kinds, and some the others, or a mixture of them, depending on frost conditions and so forth. But I really question if there's a lot of difference. But all I do know is it's a lot easier to curl with a push broom if you're playing front end, for instance.
Now, we talked earlier on about the World Curling Championships that they have all the time. And, of course, this being the 21st annual Abbotsford Curling Classic. What do you think as we watch this rock being released? You can think about it and give me an answer later on. What do you think about the possibility of having a professional curling league down the road? Watch that takeout on the 12-foot.
Another hit and
hit and stick on that one.
There's if somebody needs to get a roll here, if there's going to be much offense generated.
If it does go, try for the roll.
Max Kirkpatrick throwing that rock. There was an attempt by some individuals to get some sort of tour going that was like the Los Angeles earthquake and so forth. It didn't work out very well. There is a professional curling tour. The WCT is a professional curling tour, but it's not like you know, a team has a representative. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think it would be unrealistic to expect. You know, for one thing, you're going to get a city like Calgary. You might get or Winnipeg. You might have 30 world-class teams there. So who's going to be your team?
Yeah,
who's going to pay them?
Team? Yeah,
you know. So
how do you pick the team?
Yeah. So no, that's. I don't think that's going to happen. But I think there's roll attempt and pretty fair.
That was nice.
He may have rolled just a hair too far.
Well, he's happy.
Might not.
You can hear Mike.
That's perfect.
You can hear Mike say thank you, and the score is still 2-0 in favor of the Petrick rink over the Brian Humble rink from Saskatchewan. And again, we should say they got the first 2 points in the first end. Blank the second, blank the third end, and we're in the fourth end right now. Let's listen to him a second here. And they'll every time we go to listen, they don't talk.
On the nose, and we're right behind the guard too.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got two choices. He can really try the run back, or he can try to draw around and sit in the corner. The run back, he doesn't. If he misses it, he sure doesn't want to leave the shooter lying there. He's down 2 now. This third point is critical, and Solly got a perfect roll, and that's what I was just saying before. Somebody's got to get a roll, and Solly got it. So Humble is in serious trouble right now. He doesn't want to get down 3 points to this team, and it's going to be a
tough
scramble.
enough being down 2.
Yeah, it's going to be a scramble if he gets down 3.
So what can you tell us about the skip, Brian Humble, that we don't already know?
Well, I think he's got very solid mechanics. He's experienced, and he's got good ice, and I expect he's going to make a good shot here. But you know, I don't think it's a pressure situation for him, really. It's not the 10th end, but it's an important situation.
Not pressure yet. Mind you, the pressure builds after every shot.
He's going to roll across the face. Just got the back.
Yep, just
perfect.
a nice shot by Brian Humble.
His shooter, of course, stayed at the center line, and now Mike Solly will draw behind that. That roll, there's no substitute for a perfect roll.
Okay, take a look at this one right here.
Good run back. His shooter rolled over. He catches half a rock and rolls out. Ideally, he would have gone bang bang, and his shooter, the center line guard would have sat right there in the house. But that was a very fine shot. Just curled a little bit more than he would have liked. But this still, he's still in trouble because Mike Solly will be trying to bury one front button now that the guard is right touching the center line, and he'll try to bury this front button. And if he does, then
I think more, Dan.
Okay, let's listen to him a second. Let's see if he's going to give us any trade secrets here.
He just wants more ice. Sees it the curl at the end. Taking a fair bit of ice. 3 feet, 3.5 feet.
Well, he asked them to say he wanted more, and they give him exactly what he wanted.
Yep, Skip's got the right to decide that. Now they're starting to go for line. Patrick's yelling how to
call him on it.
Just got by, perfect.
Just.
And now watch the weight. He wants to keep this in front of the tee line.
Is he gonna? Oh, beautiful shot.
Pretty nice shot.
Oh, that was nice.
I think he's just about 100% buried, but theoretically, it's deep enough that Humble, if he moves it 8 inches, he should get shot rock.
Look at
out of
this.
it.
Now
And
let's
he
take a
just
look as
got
it
by.
just goes
Well,
by.
He got by a good inch or so.
Yeah, but he still squeaked her by.
And
now, if that was me, I just would have hit everything there. Just knocked everything right out of the whole house.
yeah, this.
No, that was good.
That was a great shot. This is a big shot for Brian Humble. He's it's a touch shot, and he's got to have just back 4-foot weight, just enough to move the shot rock back and leave a shooter there for his one.
So is he as concerned as we should let everyone believe right now?
Yeah, he's concerned. Because if he doesn't make it, he's down 3-0, and it'll be a tough road back.
They don't want that.
He'll probably make it.
Well, he's probably seen this shot several times in his career. Lightly.
Pretty close.
Nice. Look at this.
Oh, he's got a beauty.
Just going. Oh, he rolls in right inside.
Yep,
nice
see,
tag.
Just back ring weight, and took his one, which is, well, in the circumstances, as much as he could hope for. So he's very, very happy with that.
So that gives him the one.
Well, now it's 2-1, and great shot. He needed it.
That was. And, well, the curlers are getting recuperated down the far end. We're going to take a little bit of a timeout and come back with more from this 21st annual Abbotsford Curling Classic.
This weekend, any ideas? Anything you want to do?
I don't know.
Any movies you want to see? There must be some new movies this weekend or something.
I don't know. What do you want to do?
Good morning, sir. They're expecting you just down the hall.
I said a scalpel, not Excalibur.
Hey, human lightning rod!
TLC, adventures for your mind.
Give me a sign. What are you trying to say?
Plugged in, what you want to know, what you need to know about what's up in your community. We show you places and events to see and people on the go. Watch Plugged In Sundays at 6:30.
Celebrating, involving, and reflecting you. This is Rogers Community Television.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 21st Annual Abbotsford Curling Classic from the Abbotsford Curling Club in beautiful downtown Abbotsford, British Columbia. We hope you're enjoying this telecast between the Brian Humble Rink and the Petrick Rink. Petrick Rink is out of Calgary, Alberta, and the Brian Humble Rink is out of Saskatchewan. And right now we have a 2-1 score in favor of the Petrick Rink over the Humble Rink. Petrick Rink got the 2 in the first end, and the Humble Rink got their single point in the 4th right now, just started the 5th end.
The Humble Rink threw up the center line guard. He doesn't have the hammer anymore, but he's still down, so he knows he still has to generate offense. And in response to that, Solly will be throwing this into the rings, sort of daring Humble to ignore it and go around the center line guard and try to steal.
It's ever so close to the rings, you can see right there.
I think it's touching, and he can hit it. It's not in the free guard zone, so he can hit it. And
well, you were talking about, you asked me earlier on, gee, are you cold out here, Steve? And I've at least got a jacket on. I mean, we've got curlers that are wearing short-sleeve jerseys out here.
yeah, they're working physically. I've got on everything I own. I can't believe you're not cold, Steve.
Good weight on this one.
Just playing the draw.
Just going across the hog line in.
Just
close.
playing the draw and into the forefoot. Just going to bite the front four.
Yep, they'll take that. They're happy with that.
It's a nice shot. Probably a bit of that rock exposed, but not much. They're just throwing hack to board weight and with the out turn.
You could hear him saying the front one was fine.
Yeah, if he clips the front one, they don't mind that. It moves it over and opens up the shot rock. What you don't want to do is miss it wide, miss everything, and then they can throw another guard on there. And he's on the front guard, but that's okay. That's acceptable.
But now it opens up the house a little more.
That's right. That's what he wants. Now it'll be a question of how many good guards Brian Humble can play. It's hard to.
Sort of hard to predict with the way they've been throwing them.
Well, at some point he may decide to abandon this and hit that one in the house if it gets too late in the end, and you have to decide, because if you don't get the perfect guard on and they hit and stick, you can give up a two-ender, and Humble can't afford a two-ender right now. He's already down one. So.
No, not now. He doesn't want to give up a two-ender now.
But he's being aggressive with these plays, and he's going after him. He's down 2-1 without the hammer, and he's going for it.
Well, he is. He's aggressive on all of his throws. Every time he makes a delivery, he's aggressive.
Yep. So anyway, we've got a no guard at all.
No, no guard. It's off too far.
This could be a very pivotal end. Going to try to hit and roll behind his own that's just biting the front or the corner guard. So. Adrian Backer going to throw an out-turn hit at this. You can see the whole rock.
Clean.
Yep, calling him off it.
He wants to hit about a half to three-quarters of the rock and roll. He's not going to roll at all. He's going to sit right there.
He'll just sit.
Right in the nose.
Stay right there.
So that curled quite a bit.
No, right in the button.
Well,
nice shot.
Brian Humble can roll either way. He's better than sitting right there.
Okay, let's take a look at this one again.
Right nose hit, drives it straight back, but he really wanted the roll. He wanted more closer to half a rock and roll to the right. So Clem Terrian wants the same thing, some kind of roll. Anyway.
Yeah, Clem would like a nice roll. Doesn't matter where, as long as he gets it. They've got their work cut out for them right now over this Petrick rink. Right in the nose.
A little bit of a roll.
Yeah, a bit of a roll. Not much, but a bit.
He got, he's in behind that front yellow rock.
Well, he's got a guard, not his guard, but
yeah, they'll run that back.
He still has it, yeah.
They'll run that back.
Okay, take a look at this one here.
Little out-turn hit, and he gets some roll.
Now you can see, as it rolls, he's got the guard in front of him.
Yeah.
And as you were saying, they will no doubt take that one out.
They'll try to run the yellow onto the red. The good thing is, however, that the shooter will not be on the rings if they make the shot, probably. So, he's going to make the run back, but his shooter, I don't think, will get to the rings. No, and in fact, the rock he raised also rolled out. So now Brian Humble can go back on offense. He can try to draw around that center line guard, and that's exactly what he'll do. Ask Max Kirkpatrick to throw the out-turn draw.
Clearing a little bit more debris up. But we'll have to time this and see what the ice is running. We haven't timed a shot in a while.
I would think it'd be, if he throws around a 14.5, he'll be right there. We'll time it from hog to hog.
Okay, we'll see what it's set like and how the ice conditions are.
It's like plenty of weight. We're just cleaning it a bit. It looks like it's got nice weight.
Pretty good weight in that one going across.
14.1. So
That's good weight. That's
Yeah.
pretty average from...
yeah, they didn't sweep it all the way. You can get
No.
a 14.5 there, but 14.1 without
14-1.
sweeping all the way is...
And that's pretty consistent right from the opening rock, too.
From the first end?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right from the first end. So that's good. Consistency does pay off in the rinks like this.
Well, it makes for a better game with high quality curlers.
It does. Okay, take a look at this one again.
Okay, he gets by the guard by 3 inches or so, and they're working it now at the end. Once it starts to curl, they really beat on it and helps it go further and curl more. And get it in behind that guard, and there's just about perfect. You'd show about 2 inches of rock sticking out there.
He is. He was pleased with that shot. Dan Petrick, third.
What Petrick will be asked to do by Solly is to throw quiet weight at this, roll over, and roll over behind the corner guards. So Petrick makes a good shot here. Advantage Solly all of a sudden. Hit a half a rock. Yelling hard. They must think he's a little tight with that weight, and it looks like it's cutting. I think he's on the guard. Yeah.
Is he on the guard? Yes.
Yeah.
Looks like he's on.
May kick that other one in. No.
No, not enough to give it the nudge. No.
So now.
Solly, he didn't mind that.
Well, again, what you can't do is miss everything, so they can put a second guard on there. So that was Plan B is better than Plan X.
That's absolutely correct right there.
So now they'll be with like 3 perfect guards and steal the end.
Kilpatrick
throwing an intern guard. I imagine he wants this pretty tight. 3 feet in front of the house, 2 feet in front of the house. You want it tight enough so it's not easy to get around, but not so tight as it's an easy run back.
That's right, because if they get it too tight, it's an easy run back. But
That's
if they set it up for a guard and you've got a good amount of distance there, it works to your advantage.
It's just not coming up enough.
No, not enough. No.
I'm just wondering if there's a little less curl in the ice today because there's only the one game going on out here, and I'm thinking maybe that might have some effect on the ice. It seems to me that the ice was curling a bit more earlier on in the weekend when we had 6 games.
When you had, using all 6 sheets here.
Yeah. But, they seem to be running a little bit straighter right now. Petrick's got basically an open hit on this now.
Now you notice a different style delivery that Dan Petrick uses. He doesn't pick the rock up and actually lift it off the ice to release it. Just sort of a push for it. Straight on.
And he got a good roll.
Yeah, good roll, good take.
Yeah, so that should be pretty well buried in there. I don't know if Humble can get to that. Yeah, a lot of curlers basically have gone to a no lift delivery, but the ice is so keen and so good now that
take a look at this one.
Outturn
last
hit,
one.
he crosses the face a little bit, and it's a little flip in behind the guard at the edge of the 4-foot line, and you can, I believe, see a bit of it with the intern through the port between the two red rocks there, but it's not an easy shot.
Oh.
But yeah, the ice is so keen now that and the sliders are so slick that you really don't have to hoist that rock up over your head like Pee Wee Pickering from Saskatchewan back in the 60s.
No, you sure don't. You can just give it a good push.
Yeah, and
it'll
you're
get
there.
the same distance. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need as much physical effort anymore to get the rock down there. I'm going to throw an intern hit.
So here's a different delivery than what Petrick uses.
He's got a little bit of a
little bit of a pickup and a backswing to him.
He's just throwing a quiet hit at this. It's hanging, and it's looking pretty good.
They're looking real good right now.
But they got to leave it. It's not coming up too much.
No, it's not. Where are they going to get it? They're going to get it inside.
Just at guard because they're ignoring it. They're going to draw around that center line guard.
Okay, take a look at this one again for that
turn. Lots of room there. There's more room than I thought.
More room than you thought initially.
Yeah, but perfect roll.
Yeah, you can see right there. He's pretty well. He's got a guard.
Yeah. He's absolutely buried
directly in front of him. So he's buried. He's pretty protected out there.
So Mike Solly's got 2 rocks come. He's got the hammer, and he can still generate a deuce by a good draw around the corner guard because the Humble rock is only in the just barely biting.
All right.
The
Well, let's
8-foot.
see if we can listen in here and if he's going to be talking what they're going to do.
Pretty decent ice. Your hits didn't go at all.
Oh,
Oh, we want to be in the 8-foot. Oh, we got to be in the 8-foot. Judge for T-line.
Okay, well, there you can hear him. Stretch for the tee line, and he was talking about the fact that there was no real
Oh,
roll.
less, Dan. I don't want to.
Yep. He doesn't want to leave it wide open and leave Humble a chance to hit and roll behind another one.
Not
And
at
be
all.
looking at 2.
Not at all.
Big shot. Out-turn draw.
Lots of room.
Should be around 14 seconds to the hog
No
line. It's staying well out from the. He's playing the in-turn.
He wants him on it now.
He's playing the tap.
He is. He's going
that.
for the tap.
No,
yeah,
he's got it. Yeah. I thought he was going the other way, but that's perfect.
That's what it appeared they initially were talking about, was going the other way, but changed it. All right, now take a look at this again. This is the last one. Then
in-turn tap on his own rock, just outside the 12-foot there.
Just a bit of a love tap right here. Move it up a bit.
Yeah, taps at about
Let's count it.
6 feet, and he's got it covered. There's no port there that anybody would reasonably try to get through. I think what you'll see is, well...
And the rocks for both teams, whether it's the Humboldt rink or the Petrick rink, both of them have good guards sitting out in front of them.
Yeah, but Humboldt is not shot, so he's looking at the run back, I think, on the yellow onto the yellow.
Yeah.
The other option would be just the cold draw around the red guard.
Well, Brian's coming back, so let's see if he talks to any members of his team to find out what he should or shouldn't do. A little bit of friendly advice.
Put it on the tee line, boys.
Yeah, you can hear him.
He's put it on the tee line, so he's not playing a run back. So I guess he's playing the draw.
Now, if you looked real careful, and we'll get a shot in the next little
playing
while.
the out-turn draw, because you can see how he's holding the rock.
Yeah. But if you looked real careful on the shot of the last rock there, just when he was sweeping the bottom of it, you actually have a hole in the bottom of it. And we'll get a shot of one of those in the next little while, and I'll explain what it's there for. Watch.
Yeah, he's playing the out-turn draw, and...
Time to fudge.
No, he doesn't appear to be too pleased with that.
He might be a little heavy. They don't want to be behind the tee line.
No, they don't.
Yeah, he is heavy. He's
too
13
heavy.
Way back, way back.
Way back. Collar back.
And now Mike Solly can just follow that down and draw to it. I believe that.
Yeah, Brian wasn't
like,
too.
Well, maybe red shot. It looks like red is shot, but all he's got to do is draw down and tap it a couple of inches.
Take a look at this one. Initially, when he released this, he didn't seem too pleased. Now he seems to be a little more receptive to it.
I think it's. I still don't think he's too pleased for 2 reasons. A, it's behind the tee line, and B, it's fairly wide open. It's pretty easy to follow. He cleared that guard by a foot, so he can get. Solly can come right down, tap it back, and get his deuce, and 4-1 lead, and that's a pretty commanding lead.
Just a little bit of miscommunication, you know, probably right there, because where he initially wanted to put, sometimes a weight will do that.
It's just a little heavy with it. And,
okay, now, if he lifts this rock, you can see the hole in the bottom of the rock right there?
Yeah.
For all you people at home and you wonder what it's there for, that's real simple. What they can do is they can actually have these curling stones turned. They send them away, they turn them, and you can actually turn them over and put the handle on the other side. So that way you get good usage out of your rock. You can use both sides, and they're normally turned about every couple of years. They like to turn the rocks, and it's good for the sliding edge of the rock.
The rock runs on the running surface as opposed to the whole bottom of the rock, or else you'd have to be awfully strong to get it from one end to the other.
You'd have to have Arnold throwing the rocks out there.
Yeah, that's right. Schwarzenegger in the rink. This is coming in nicely. He's got the line. Just have to move it a little bit, if at all. And that's what he's done. And there's
he did.
Easy 2. That's why Brian Humble wasn't happy with his shot. It wasn't buried. It was heavy. And that was a real easy 2 for the Petrick Solly team. Here
Take a look at this one here again.
Coming in, he just got nice back ring weight, clears the guard by 4 inches, and they're just sweeping to make sure it doesn't gum up in the house, and because they do have to move it a little bit. But, no, I'm sorry. This is the
previous one.
This is the previous.
Yeah, the previous one that we saw.
Yeah.
So they got 4.
Yeah, that wasn't the same rock.
No.
So it's 4-1 now for the Petrick rink. He's playing the 6th end. And Brian Humble is going to have to generate some offense, or he's going to have a lot to be humble about pretty soon. He's going to have to pull out all the stops.
They are. Now they're going to have to pull out all the stops. They're going to have to get, real good game plan going for him right now. And I'm looking at him just as we watch this rock finish off, going close to the center of the house, but didn't quite make it. I'm watching the Humboldt rink down the far end to our immediate right, doing a little bit of discussion with each other. And they're not wasting any time. They're getting together, they're talking, they're communicating with each other, and they know exactly what they want to do. It's just a matter of actually executing what they want to do and how they're going to do it.
Well, he'll be throwing this out front without a doubt. Lauren Hadel, anywhere between the house and the hog, so it can't be removed. You just have to get this rock in play at this point in that area. If you throw it into the house, of course, they can remove it. And every rock that's in play at this point is to Humble's advantage, because he has to have some cover or something that they might crash his onto in the back of the house. So he wants every rock in play he can get.
Now I see a sign up down here above the gentleman when they're throwing the rocks. A big sign says Super League. Must obviously have a big Super League that plays out of this curling club as well.
Yeah, we have a Wednesday night competitive league, and it's mostly men's teams. We have one ladies team in it this year, and we have 12 teams in the league. Four teams from Abbotsford were in this bonspiel. None of us, them, unfortunately qualified, but Rob Simpson rink came fairly close to qualifying, and Ron Barbone, Milt Sinclair, and Dean Lunn all had rinks in here, and they all curl Wednesday nights. We have a good competitive league here.
So you have curling at this facility every night, including all weekends long?
Basically every day there's something going on here. It's very well used, and it's a very popular sport here. I believe that curling is the #1 participation sport in Canada.
You know, there's a lot of criticism now about, as we watch this nudge right there, that was nice.
Okay, he's got it set up quite well here now. He's got 2 yellow rocks in there, and his red one's right in front of him, so it's tough to remove the red one. In fact, he's not even trying. The game is on right now. They're going to peel the guard. That's a rock that can get them in trouble. They would be happy to give up a deuce to get the hammer back.
Well, if they leave the guard there, the way all that's going to do is open it up. They ever tap that, hit that on the nose, it's going to go back and take out one of the other ones.
Yeah. I think Brian Humble would have just loved it if they played with him.
Yes,
but
I know.
They decided not to play. They're going to peel the guard and clean it up a little.
They're not going to toy with him at all. But
anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
That's okay. I was just going to ask you about what you think it's like in regards to the youth or the teen curling, because the future of the game naturally depends on the young people. This game is no different from any other sport. And what's the involvement with the younger people out in this area?
Well, we have some pretty good involvement with the younger people. Two of the teachers over at Yale, Lynn Watson and Cindy Baldwin, curl in our men's Super League, and they're getting a lot of their kids involved in curling through the school, as well as got a intern draw coming in here. They'd like to
this one, You'd
like to get another freeze up in there or something just in front of these.
Yeah, they want a tight freeze on this one. Just a bit
banged it a little too far, but it's not bad. They got the other one lined up in position. And through our club, we have a very good junior bonspiel that attracts good junior teams from all over the province. And Laurie McClellan and Len Shaw and some other people, I guess, are involved, but I know those people are involved in that. So we've got pretty good junior involvement, but there's some very, very good young curlers coming up.
Well, I've often wondered on that aspect. I've often wondered why they don't have a high school curling league for the Lower Mainland, you know, to see what type of younger curlers we actually have out as we watch this one get thrown down. Lots of weight on this. Just going to try for the takeout.
I think that the junior curling is more directed towards through the clubs now than the high schools. I know when I was in high school back in Alberta, it was high school playdowns as opposed to through the clubs, but it seems to have gotten away from that more through the clubs now.
Shot of the last rock.
In turn hit, and but the problem with this is it's a good hit, but boy, you've got a pocket there now that. The bad thing is you've got a pocket. The good thing is if you get into the pocket, you're not shot rock because you're in front of the tee line.
Yeah, that's true.
If that was behind the tee line, they'd be in a lot of trouble.
That's right. And right now the score is 4-1 in favor of the Petrick rink over the Humboldt rink. And interesting so far to see. Now, as we talked earlier on, Jim, they're going to have to pull out all the stops to see what they can do.
Yeah, they might give up a bunch of points, but they're not going to. They're not going to leave anything in the bag. They're going to try everything to generate some offense. They have to. They're down 3 points, so you know the theory is that you try everything, and hopefully you can. If you have to, you've got the hammer. You can draw for your single point if you have to. But right now, that shot curled too far and really didn't do a lot for them. In fact, they could run the double on them.
You know, a major event like this, Jim, while we're waiting for him to get set to throw the next rock, a major event like this annual Abbotsford Curling Classic, tough to put on without the sponsorship. Just let me know who some of the sponsors are.
Well, we've got a number of sponsors. Labatt's is always, of course, involved in curling. WestJet is a new sponsor that's been very, very helpful to us. Fraser Valley Credit Union. And as well, we have a large number of sponsors who contribute money to this event, and in turn they get each particular team that they can win some money back. But mainly it's there's about over 30 of them. I can't name them all who sponsor this event, and without them we couldn't do it.
No, that's tough. We said that earlier on. So on behalf of the curling club here and all the curlers that come, we do want to thank all the sponsors that assist in their financial contributions to keep the club afloat and keep them going, because it's tough to do. Everybody's going out and they're going door to door and trying to get money, and nowadays it's even tougher trying to get the almighty dollar out of the different people.
Well, all our sponsors have a plaque that hangs up in the curling club for the year, and you see them hanging over the rink, and so they get advertising for a year for their sponsorship, and that's a small enough return for the investment they make. But it's a community. It's very much a community activity, and it couldn't be done without those people.
No, it sure couldn't. All right, get set. Watch
Max
this.
Kirkpatrick again trying to draw down to this pocket.
And the pocket's tight down there. You look, they're just...
It's a great pocket if you can get into it.
It is. Just clumped together down there.
But after that, you have to figure out how to get how to get shot rock, though. But
yes.
Right now, he's got a good-looking shot coming in here.
Nice one, right in.
Yeah, you're not going to get that out with dynamite. Well, actually, you can probably with the out-turn hit. That will probably go. If he throws an out-turn hit,
see if that's what they're looking for right now.
He could squirt that out the side. No, he was going to hit the front one. That's interesting.
Yeah. Be a bit of a challenge for them right here.
He doesn't want to leave any red around, of course, because somebody makes a circus shot and they're right back in the game on you. But so he wants to. I think he's hitting the easier one and hoping that the Humboldt rink will make the mistake. They're not. I don't know. He's still talking about it. Right now, he's playing. It looks like he's playing the in-turn hit on the rock in the 12-foot. So.
Okay, now as we said earlier on, this is just a little bit of a different delivery. Watch.
Yeah, it's just a lift, but
no
powerful
lift,
leg drive.
Powerful push. Strong push or shove out to release it. Receive Dan Petrick.
In-turn hit, and and he's going to
get him.
Jammed it, and that is exactly what Brian Humble was looking for.
Yes, now it gets real interesting the way it's setting up.
He's got a few choices now. He's got some rocks on the rings, and
watch this. This is the replay of the shot we just saw.
He jammed it onto the yellow one, kicked the two yellow, one out and one over to the side, and now Humble's lying shot rock and has a chance to lie two.
Did that surprise you, the shot that he actually chose to take?
Yeah, it did a little bit. I thought he might go for the second shot red and try to squirt it out the back, and even if he lost his yellow one, it wouldn't be that bad because that's the rock that was causing him trouble that they were freezing to. But he chose to play that one, and it curled across the face, and he jammed it. And well, this is what Humble was dreaming of.
Yeah, that's what he wanted, and you can see them there talking about that because you know, he had to pull out all the stops, as we said earlier on, and that really did work to his advantage.
He's got this double.
Problem.
Okay, let's see if he's going to tell us what he's going to do.
Let's play this. Let's play the shot. You just threw it. Just threw draw weight. We need back here now.
He's playing a little split on the red rock to try to lie two. Just wants to tap the red one back to the tee line and roll his shooter over to the 8 foot on the tee line on the other side and lie two, and hopefully not set him up for a double.
Now you can see Brian Humble. Gets down to the real intricate parts now, so see how they set it up and what they're going to play it from here right now, because they've had a good match so far. No real problems.
Well, this is a very, very crucial shot. If he can get these rocks in the right position, he's got a chance to get back in the game.
And there you can see a shot of all the rocks in the house. Spread out pretty substantially, but
just throwing the in-turn tap. Just trying to cross the face of his own red rock, I believe, and he's got, looks like a lot of weight.
Awful lot.
Just wants to catch a corner of it. His weight's okay for the shot as long as he hits the right spot.
You can see Kilpatrick come sliding into the back of it.
Yeah, he didn't.
Nice.
Yeah, actually, okay, that's not too bad.
No, that's not. He's happy with that.
Yeah, that's not too bad at all.
No,
I thought he was trying to cross it a little bit more, but that's not bad. He may be, well, he's definitely shot. He might even be second shot. It's hard to tell.
No, he was happy with that one. Now it gets down to, as we look at the replay of the last one right here. You can see Kilpatrick sliding up all the way up the ice to assist.
Tapped it straight back, and there'll be, the problem is here that left them a reasonably easy double. That was why he wanted the split instead of the straight back. So he can hit that red one somewhere around the nose and drive it back onto the other red one and split them both out. And there goes your potential deuce.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And it could disappear so quick too.
Yeah, that was why I think he wanted to cross the face a bit and split them out to the sides.
Just crossing the center line when we hit it, just starting to.
Yep.
So I just want to hit it a little bit late as it crosses the face of the rock.
Solly getting ready to deliver this rock. Looks a little bit concerned.
Well, he has to make the shot, or he's let Hummel right back in the game, probably.
Oh, yep, hurry.
It's pretty close.
Lots of weight.
Oh, there's the jam. That is about as much as Hummel could hope for. It was a straight back jam because it's unlikely that he was going to miss the back one. So, but he did hit it right in the nose and left it in play. So, Hummel still got a good chance.
Yep. Now look at this one. Now you watch when the rock hits. Watch how they just absolutely stop.
Yeah.
One stops, two stops.
Doesn't matter how hard you throw it. If it hits it on the nose, it's not going anywhere.
No, it just bites right into that ice and just holds on.
So
Not going anywhere.
Nose hit isn't even the end of the world.
He's going to hit this rock on the
But
side.
yeah, let's get the roll in if we can.
If he can roll into the 4-foot, great. I don't know if
that's what Humble's talking about. See if they can go for the roll in.
Yeah. The problem with that is that Solly's got 2 rocks he can raise back. No matter where this rolls to. So
it's feeling it's going to curl here, though. That's the only thing. So we don't want to be down.
Going to keep his weight fairly firm because he thinks the rock's going to curl.
Yeah, that's a big concern for him, is that he doesn't want the rock to curl.
He doesn't want to set up Solly up for the double. He'd even be happy with a deuce here, you know. And
well, it'd put him back in a good contention anyway.
Oh yeah. He gets a deuce, he's right back in the game.
Well, we're only 4-1 right now.
Yeah, 4-3 is not the end of the world.
No, no. That's close.
Oh, starting to curl.
Starting to curl
really
substantially,
went.
too.
Really went. Okay, that's not bad.
Oh,
a little hard.
Little
they
tough.
hit his other one right out. So
yeah, I don't think he expected to take out like that.
Well,
a bit of a roll, yeah.
Yeah, it really broke on him late, and he said he thought it might curl, and it sure did. So he hit it so thin that he didn't.
But it didn't curl. Okay, we'll take a look at the replay right here.
Right at the end, you see.
Yeah, it curled at the end.
Yeah, just at the end as it loses its speed, it curls, and with that weight, he kicked his own right out of the ring. So, but that's not. You know, basically, he's still got a chance at his deuce if Solly doesn't make a good shot on him here.
Well, we'll see. But again, fairly quick match going by.
I think Solly's playing the. He's going to play a draw.
Did we play one out here?
What's he drawing?
You guys remember?
I'm not sure.
Straight, right?
I don't think they've played one that's that far out yet.
He's going to either he's playing the double or he's tapping his own.
Yeah, right in the middle of the rock.
He's playing this. He's probably playing the double. Off the outside one.
Well, that's what they look like they're going to try for.
Well, it's not a draw.
No.
He's playing the double.
And you can see everybody's concerned about that. Everybody's lined up looking. They want to see where it's going to go.
He's close now.
What a
great shot.
Oh, beautiful shot.
Yeah, he didn't get the double, but he certainly got the roll.
Got the roll.
An awfully tough deuce.
Boy, oh boy. You can see these guys curling like this. This is...
that was a fabulous shot.
That was. This is where he hit it. Watch. Take a look at this one. This could be the turning point of the whole game right here.
Yeah, hits...
Watch the hit the
three-quarters of
roll.
a rock with good velocity, rolls it right over to the button. And even if he's not shot rock, he's made it very, very difficult for Humble to get two.
Yeah, he was pleased with that one. I'd like to know what the percentage he's shooting right now.
He'd be, I would say, he has to be in the 90s. I don't think he's missed much of anything.
No, his percentage has to be fairly high.
That might have been worth some bonus points. That one, that was an excellent shot.
Yeah.
Just an inch. Just an inch, though.
Looks like Brian Humble thinks he can get through that port with the out-turn tap and just move it back an inch. They have to move it an inch, so yellow a shot. If he moves it an inch, he thinks he can get his deuce.
Think you can go just a little less. Right on the edge, yeah.
Not taking much ice for this out-turn tap.
Not a lot at all. That sort of surprises us.
Well, he must know the ice. He's seen a lot of rocks down here so far.
He's obviously throughout this game been able to read the ice very well.
Just needs to throw about a 14-second rock and get through that narrow port. It's pretty close.
Yeah, they jump on that one.
Got good line, got to clean it.
Good line, good weight.
Got to clean it, got to clean it.
Good going.
He's got a beauty.
That
no,
is,
I think he touched. I think he just
looked
rubbed.
like it touched something.
I think they just
We'll have
lost it.
to
at
see
the
if we
end.
can get a shot again from maybe our overhead cam on that to see what happened.
I think they got off the brushes a little bit too much, and it just touched that guard, and they are not happy.
No, they're not happy campers. Okay, let's take a look at this one right now.
Yeah, they should have been sweeping a little more here.
Okay,
And they just lost it. I think they touched the guard.
Did they?
Yep, just a touch.
Just nicked it ever so close.
Because if he got through the hole, he had an absolutely perfect shot.
But he never got through. All right, it's time now for all the viewers at home. Go back, replenish your eggnog, and come on back in front of the TV sets. We're going to come back with more from this 21st annual Abbotsford Curling Classic. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Abbotsford Curling Club. I'm Steve Erickson with Jim Anderson. It's our pleasure to bring you this 21st annual Abbotsford Curling Classic here. And this is the final championship game between the Mike Solly, who is a skip of the Petrick Rink, and the score right now, Jim?
4-2. Unfortunately for Brian Humble, they just miscalled the broom on his last shot. He threw the rock really well with 3 or 4 swipes of the brushes. They had him through the port, and he would have got his deuce. But now he's down 2. He doesn't have the hammer, and he's got work to be done. So it was too bad, because I think the third thought they were by, and it really moved quickly right at the end. And sometimes it'll pick up a little debris and do that, and it's awfully tough for.
Well, this one
third.
just barely nudged as we were watching there, and it completely sort of fooled us a little bit.
Well, yeah, I knew that I knew if he got through the hole, he had it, and then I saw that he didn't have it, and I assumed it must have touched. He actually touched the Solly rock, but the angle was such that the shooter rolled a little too far then. But it was too bad, because I'm sure Solly doesn't feel too badly about it. That's the rub of the green, so to speak. But it's a tough break for the Humble rink.
Just the luck of the draw, the way they worked on that one there. Nice shot. You can see from the overhead cam. And nice to have these overhead cameras there, so you can see direct right there. And there you can see the score. The Petrick rink has 4, and the Humboldt rink only have 2 right now. And Brian Humboldt wants to close the gap a little bit more. We thought he was going to do it in the last end, but didn't work out that way.
Well, he was about 1/4 of an inch from it working out. And that's the game of curling. If you the 1/4 inch you get by, or the 1/4 inch you rub, is very often the difference in these games. And if things are going in your favor, you might win a game by 6 or 8 points, but you really might have won it by 1/4 of an inch.
That's correct. Very, very correct. Yes. So close.
And boys from Saskatchewan are not too happy right now, but they've been here before, and they're only 2 down. If they steal one here, they're right back in it.
That's right. They're down, but they're not out by any stretch of the imagination. It's only 2 right now, and that can change so quick.
This is where the free guard zone is so good to have now, because it used to be that if you were down 2 points to a good team like this, they'd just peel everything. But they can't now, so we're going to have rocks in play, and you can come back in this game. So
be there, board. Don't be light.
And they certainly have the ability, and like they were 1/4 of an inch away from being right back in the game. So maybe they'll get a break. Maybe Solly rink will rub by 1/4 of an inch on a crucial shot.
And we should say that Adrian is an environmental engineer. Says he works for Imperial, so. Got a little bit of time off work to come out and enjoy our beautiful West Coast.
Yeah, I think they're having pretty good weather back in the prairies right now. So
they are, with the exceptions of the fires in the Alberta area, and that's always a tough to see. You have homes literally destroyed by fires.
It's pretty unusual this time of year to have fire problems in Alberta.
Yeah, it was just devastating. I watched TV last night, and there was actually no snow anywhere. So that was, really
Amazing.
Amazing. Just couldn't believe that.
Here's Clem Carrion.
Carrion getting set again.
There.
Carrion's percentage is basically got to be pretty good today too.
Yeah, he's curled very well.
Pretty consistent.
He's a toe slider. Some of the guys slide on the flat foot, and some people slide up on their toe, and it's a little harder on your knee. But
yes,
you can get a little lower. At least some people can. Ooh, that's a great shot.
That was a nice shot. Just got by it, and look at it curl.
It's actually curling a hair too much, but right on the pin.
Right on her.
You're not going to draw that.
No, he's happy with that.
He may have exposed a little bit on the intern side. It curled pretty hard past the guard.
This is where Terry would say, okay, let's take the points right now.
Yeah.
Start the next end already.
Yeah. They can, looks like they can see a fair bit on the interim side, but
I see us out here right now. It's turning a bit chilly. Not too bad, though, but it's a little bit chilly out here.
Well, it's funny. When you're curling, you don't get cold. You can curl out here in your shirt sleeves, but when you're just sitting, it becomes quite chilly.
Now we watch right there, and they're trying for the shots right now. So again, the Humble rink is a little bit concerned over what they're doing and how they're actually working it. So it will be interesting to see how they want to end up playing this next little bit.
Kirkpatrick with the outturn draw here, trying to get one buried in there that they can't get at. Actually like to come by. Not, ooh boy.
Just squeaked by.
He ticked it.
Yeah,
and,
just.
Right now.
Just nicked it ever so close.
Yeah, so that didn't help him too much. Now he'll, I think you'll see Mike Solly run that. He may run that center line guard right off to, because that's a dangerous rock for him.
It is now, yeah.
He's got enough points.
See, I think it's more advantageous for him just to completely get rid of it.
Yeah, he doesn't want any rocks out front that they can hide behind.
No,
and,
if they go,
steal.
if they tag on that one, Jim, the problem is that could, as you say, go back and take one of their own rocks out.
It could, but he's still got the hammer and he's got the whole 4 foot open. Right now they can draw behind after the 4 foot and steal. So that's why he's running that out.
You can see him.
Dan Petrick runs it off there.
He almost stepped on it when it was going out of play. That's always scary because, fortunately, I haven't seen anyone in a long time getting hurt by falling and hurting themselves on curling ice.
No, I've seen it happen.
I've seen it happen too, but I guess it's the fact that they're a little more cautious of their footing.
Well, they've got good equipment too. They got good grippers, but if you have to put your slider foot down and you have to make a maneuver with that foot down, you can make some extremely balletic moves that are totally unplanned.
You can.
And now Humble's had to go to defense, damage control, because
this is plan B right now.
Well, that's right. As soon as they didn't get by that center line guard, he got in trouble. Now Solly is going to try to split the house, throw up another one straight across, and try to get another deuce. And if he does, then
it just freezes.
It's pretty tough for Brian Humble to get back in the game.
It is. Because, as we said, he is still down by 2, but you can see him. Let's see what Mike tells him. See where he's setting it up.
No, he'll want this just behind the tee line, straight across from his other yellow one in the 8 foot, or even over to the 12 foot.
Yeah, get them spread out a bit. Don't have them too close together.
And straight across from each other, and there's no double.
Yeah, almost 3-9 position.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Amazing control of draw weight this team has. They throw the big hits, but they also throw the draws.
When they tell where they want that draw weight, that virtually you could almost put an X on the ice and it will end up right there.
And that's a credit not only to good throwing, but to good judgment of the sweeping. Yeah. The good rinks, their front ends they play so much, and they are just so adept at judging how how much the rock has when it's let go, and really the sweepers make the shot for it.
Yeah, they do.
To within 3, 4, 5 feet, that's the sweepers who are doing that, and these people are very good at it.
And the sweepers are so good to the point that they know when to jump on it and when to back off the rock as well.
Exactly.
So they're able to read the weight that's actually be given by the throw, so they know exactly what to do, and that's a real art in itself.
It certainly is. There's a intern hit. He'd like to roll this over towards the other Petrick rock to get him a little closer together, because right now he's got a big problem. He's only got one rock to come, and didn't roll too far. So
just take it out.
Solly would like to hit that basically on the nose and sit right there.
So what are they going to do? They're going to tap this one, knock her out?
Yeah, he'd like a nose hitter, maybe even a little
Take a look
flop
at the
to the
replay
outside.
here on the last one right there.
Yeah, basically a nose hit. He would have liked to have rolled sideways towards the other yellow rock a bit.
Got to talk to these curlers, boy. We get it all set up for a replay, and they hurry up and they start to move real quick at the end like that. I don't know. Got to tell these curlers to slow down.
Yeah, curlers are fast.
Oh, I know.
Just bumper.
Just throwing.
Okay, what's he calling for, Jim?
Quiet takeout, intern hit. He basically wants a nose hit. Just doesn't want to roll it over towards his own yellow rock to set up a double.
No,
right
that's the one thing I think he would be really concerned with right now is where he's going to hit it, because, as you say, if he does hit it and it does roll over, then you stand the chance of taking out your own, and don't want to do that.
Right now,
at least he doesn't want to.
Yeah, he's got total control of the game if he gets a deuce here, and he's got a deuce looking pretty good if he hits right on the nose.
No, he called it off. No, it looks like it's going to miss completely.
No, I think he's got a piece of it.
Not much. Yeah. Looks are deceiving. It curls in. There, tag.
Perfect. It just rolled a bit to the outside, makes the double tougher, and
now it's tougher. A little bit. Get down to the nitty-gritty for Mr. Humble.
Well, Humble's looking at the scoreboard, and this is what he's thinking about.
It's not changing.
It's not changing. That's right. He's checking that. Yeah, I'm 2 down. It's the 7th end. There is no double, realistically speaking.
Nope.
So what he's thinking is, do I want to draw down and freeze to that back yellow one and try to get out of this end for 1 point instead of 2?
Up 4.
Yeah.
4 down, playing 8.
Yeah, 4 down, playing 8.
1, 9, 1, 10. 5 down.
Decisions, eh?
Still win at 4, but you know, a freeze you can hold him to 1, but it's a tough shot.
Yeah, if he makes the perfect freeze, he can hold him to 1, but it is a tough shot. Hardest shot in curling.
Let's take our chances.
Well, he's going to play it conservative. He's going to try to roll it to the middle.
Same shot.
Hit and roll.
Well, like he said, it's tough, but let's take our chances.
Yeah, he's hoping that he'll get a rollout from Mike Solly, but
what do you guys think? Like the freeze better?
They're still talking it over.
They're still talking better.
I mean, we hit here. If he hits and rolls out, he gets just a 1. Hate to sell a farm this early. That's right. Yeah.
Well, that's a point well taken. Don't want to sell a farm too early. Stick with it. And you're only down by a couple, not that far out of it.
Yeah. And since Max Kirkpatrick is the only farmer and he's not in on the discussion, I don't think it's their decision.
I don't think it's fair. We'll see where he places this one.
Let's try to roll into the middle, but no matter what he does with this, he's going to have a shot at 2. Solly is rolling it over.
Rolling it over anyway.
But, which is just what he called. But
that's just what he called for. But
wide open hit for 2 and
pretty direct takeout this one.
Total control.
You can see Brian Humble sort of having a couple of joking words with Mr. Mike Solly.
He wouldn't have minded rolling over another 3 feet.
Yeah.
Getting on the corner of that yellow one, but the odds of that happening are pretty.
Yeah, had he rolled over a little more and placed it somewhat closer to the yellow one, then Sully stands a chance of
Keep it clean.
rolling
I'm
and
gonna throw
possibly
about the
taking his own
same.
out too. Because when those things move, they can move so quick.
Yeah.
Setting it up. Now, Sully knows exactly what he wants to do. He wants to take this one right out.
And sit right there.
Yeah, and sit right there. Tag it and stay. Doesn't want to leave it all.
Yes, hurry.
Yeah, they called him on that one.
He's
Whoa, whoa,
Lots of weight
they're
on
off
it.
and on, off and on. He's
Yeah, lots of weight on it.
very close.
Oh, where's the curl?
Oh, I think
There
it's
we
going to
go.
stay around. Not a problem.
Oh.
Only rolled a couple of feet, so
He was expecting a little more of a curl on that one.
easy two. And now it's 6-2 with Brian Humble having the hammer, and he needs at least a deuce in the 8th
All
end.
right, well, while they're setting up, we're going to take a little bit of a timeout and go replenish that cup of eggnog and come on back with more from the 21st Annual Abbotsford Curling Classic right after this timeout.
There's so much to see at Science World. Amaze yourself.
Hey, to find out what the color of the week's going to be, make sure to tune in to Generation Y every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Looking for television that goes beyond sound bites and headlines? Every Friday on Pacific Focus, we go behind the scenes of today's issues to talk to the newsmakers themselves, and we ask the questions and get the answers that matter to your community.
You're watching Rogers Community Television.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Abbotsford Curling Classic. This is the 21st annual from the Abbotsford Curling Club, beautiful Abbotsford, British Columbia, and it's our pleasure to welcome you to this telecast. Hope you're enjoying this final championship game between the Brian Humble Rink from Saskatchewan and the Petrick Rink based out of Calgary, Alberta. And there you can see the score right now is 6-2 in favor of the Petrick Rink. Jim, they've got their work cut out for them right now, the Humble Rink.
Yeah, they've been, well, the turning point was the missed deuce in the 6th end when they miscalled that rock for the tap back for the deuce. Now that led to them having to play a very gambling style in the 7th end and giving up another deuce. And now they've got the hammer back, and again, they want every rock in play they can get. They did this in the 6th end. They had the chance for a deuce, but unfortunately they didn't get it. If they don't get a deuce here, it's probably pretty well all she wrote for them. They can, if they can get a 2 or 3 ender, they're still got a good chance to win this game. And they've got corner guards set up.
We talked earlier on, as they set up a couple of corner guards, we talked earlier on about the percentage. The percentage for shooting right now for the Petrick Rink has to be, I don't know, somewhat more significant, more a little better, I guess, than the Humble Rink right now. Their shots seem to be, when they shoot them, they're really sticking, and they're placing them just pretty well direct.
Their percentages are probably higher, but
Clean, yes.
you know,
Hurry.
the
right up.
percentage
Clean.
often is dictated too by
Good
what
throw.
kind of shots you're playing.
And the further you get down, usually the more difficult the shots that you have to attempt. So sometimes they can be misleading. Brian Humble missed a very crucial shot.
Take a look at this last one.
And we've got an out-turn hit